I'm Lisbeth, the founder of Nordic Dog Trainer, and I'm here to talk to you basically. So today I am talking about letting our dogs choose their walks. And today I want to talk about trusting our dogs more. About trusting our dogs and about letting them choose the walks. So I did for the last 5 days. I've been doing again some research with my own dog Wilma, who's at the moment sleeping in the background behind the there she is, and the cat. They have one bed each. Because I too forget sometimes. I just forget. I'm sorry. I'm human. The thing about walking our dogs is that now I'm speaking from my own experience, and from a lot of I know a lot of other people are feeling the same. We don't do this on purpose. It's just automatically when we're walking our dogs, we just walk wherever we have decided in our head, and like I said, it's not put any thought to it. So that's why at least I sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I have to remind myself to, let Wilma choose. I mean, choose, absolutely choose the length and where she wants to walk. And I've done this for the past 5 days now. Well, obviously yesterday we were traveling to new places and we didn't go for very long walks. I took her out of the car several times, to sniff for a certain amount of time, because I was in a hurry, always going from one place to another. So that wasn't ideal in the sense of letting her choose a whole walk, because we had to get back to the car within a certain time. But right now I'm in my cabin in the south of Norway, and the cabin is really, I think I can turn my camera around. I think I can do this. Yes, you see, this is outside my window. This cabin is literally, we have no neighbors, and it's in the woods like this. It's the road stops here. I mean, there is no traffic, nothing. It's just me and 2 other cabins in this little area. So we can actually just walk right into the woods, and then you can let Wilma choose for how long and where she wants to walk in the woods, in the forest. Forest, I'm not sure. Well, anyhow, there's a lot of trees. The thing is that in this certain area in front of the cabin, they've been taking down, removed a lot of trees lately, the last couple of years. So it's very difficult to walk, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of branches and everything laying around, so it's difficult for me to find pathways there to walk. But then when I let Wilma choose, and Wilma is the perfect size, she's very low to the ground, but she can get everywhere, So I have let her choose exactly when to go out and where to go. So we have a couple of choices. We can walk out in the woods from anywhere from the garden here, or we can walk down a road, like it's a proper road for a car, but it's not, it's not asphalt or anything. It's not concrete. So but the road leads to, to other neighbors and down to the main road and so on. So very interestingly, Wilma, well, it's interesting, but it shouldn't be surprising, and it's very, very obvious, isn't it? Same thing with our dogs as with us. First of all, what I noticed that when it's bad weather, so when it's raining or cold, because we had different kind of weather the last 5 days, Wilma does not want to be outside for as long as when it's nice weather. What has surprised me most, again, I'm not using the word surprised right, I think, because it amazes me more, like, because I've seen it many, many times before, and I will give you some examples. Is that very often Wilma wants to go different places than I do, and she finds really nice pathways for me to walk too. So even though it's difficult to find right outside on the front of the house here, good places to walk because of all the branches and the trees they took down, she has found some amazing little pathways. And she always knows, of course, naturally, how to get back to the house again. Obviously, they use their nose. So I've taken the timing, and Wilma is very good at letting me know when she wants to go out for a walk. She normally just comes and start, sitting next to me when I'm working here, and she puts her head on my lap. And if it's not feeding time, I know that it's walking time. So I go and get the leash and I let her choose. And most of the times she chooses the wood. On Tuesday, she only wanted once to go out for a walk. Now, I need to tell you that I have a small garden, a fenced garden. And luckily the weather is good enough it's a bit cold for me, but during the day the door is still open. So Wilma and the cat goes in and out from the garden as they choose to during the whole day until quite late at night when I close the door. Then they have to let me know if they want to go out. But apart from that, she just wanted, in the early afternoon, she wanted to go for a walk. So I found her leash and I followed her and we were out for 12 minutes. And I was like, wow, isn't that a bit short? Because we didn't walk far at all. We were just basically out of the property, a little bit into the woods here. And she found some nice trailing because there are deer and there are moose, quite a lot actually. And sometimes even wolves. Very rare, but they have been here a few times. We don't meet them, of course, but there's a lot of really great smells and a lot of birds. Not as in the north of Norway, by the way, where I live. There aren't many birds. So lots of smelling, stopping, sitting down. There were other people walking in the woods. We could hear them. There were kids. I think they were picking mushrooms or something. So there were people around. And Wilma, she found what you call it, like a little hill or like stone, like it's what you call it. It's stone. It's not a mountain, obviously. It's something. It's just stone in the wood. You walk a little bit up, and then you can see the area around you. So you're in a higher place, basically. And she walked up there. Was a little bit slippery for me, but we managed. And she sat down and she observed. She sat down for, I didn't really take the time, but a couple of minutes. And she observed, so she did some sniffing, and then she just walked home. And, that was it, 12 minutes, one time that day. I want to let you know that if you don't have a garden and you let your dog out, you have to take your dog. We have to take our dogs out several times a day to, of course, go to the toilet, okay? I can't remember what days these were. Maybe I should have written it down when I think about it. But one of the days, she was up for a longer walk and she chose to walk down the road. So we walked down the road, we walked down to the main road even. We walked a little bit on concrete, like on the asphalt there. There are some cars, it's not a busy road at all. And we walked past a house where there is a breeder who have a lot of dogs. And here, unfortunately, there is a lot of farmers and hunters who have their dogs on leash or in small cages outside 24/7. They don't even get inside their house. So these dogs are a bit frustrated, obviously. And so when we are passing them, they are barking a lot and being more frustrated because they can't get out and, greet us or anything. So Wilma is choosing to walk, we can walk left or right. And it's so interesting to see how she just chooses that today I want to stay in the woods for just a little while or a longer walk. We've been, of course, walking for longer. Now, I also want to mention, for those of you who don't know us, that Wilma is now 11 years old and she's not up for very, very long walks anymore. I've done this. Now, a lot of people tell me that, oh, it's easy for you to say, Lisbeth, because you live in Norway, you live in the woods, you can choose, blah, blah, blah. But I've lived in cities, I've lived in towns in Norway. I lived in the city center in different places in Norway when I've had dogs. It's the same thing. I lived in the middle of Amsterdam city centers years ago. I didn't have my own dog, but I was taking care and walking a friend's dog who was working. So I was helping out with walking that dog. That was in the city center of Amsterdam. So this that you can have your dog choose where to walk, and the length of the walks you can do everywhere. Of course, common sense, I know someone is going to tell me, what, there is a busy street, we can't have our dog walking in the middle of the street. No, you can't. So in that sense, yes, we have to be on the pavement, if you are in the city, and you don't have to do that in the woods. But you can still choose where your dog wants to walk. And again, trust your dog. Very few dogs want to walk in the middle of the traffic anyhow. And it's a matter of going left or right, sometimes when we're out walking. It's just, and that's what I started saying today, was we don't mean to do this. We just don't think about it. So when we were out walking, we walk left, because maybe it's because there are more lights, it's dark in the evening, there are more street lights, or maybe there is a uphill or downhill, maybe something that makes you think that, I would like to go left, but maybe your dog wants to go right, and so try that and observe your dogs. If you have the possibility, take your dog with you to a forest or the beach or the mountain, somewhere where there are no streets, so you can really see where your dog wants to walk, where he's walking, and for how long. And this also I want to address today, for how long, because we have a lot of consultations with dog caretakers who say that, they have a problem with their puppy or adolescent dog, or even senior dogs. They don't want to walk for very long, and they are concerned, and sometimes they see it as a problem behavior. First of all, dogs are like us. Sometimes they want a longer walk. Sometimes they want a shorter walk. That could be different from day to day. Sometimes there is a problem with illness or physics. So your dog could be in pain. And please know that dogs do everything they can to hide that they're in pain. So when we see their pain, then they've been in pain for quite a while already. If a dog sits down during a walk and refuses to walk, there is a reason for that. And I was reading a very sad, I think, for me it was upsetting to read this discussion of someone who had quite a young dog that did not want to walk for very long. And it was way too young to walk for long walks. And obviously it was raining, and the owner just had expectations to that dog that was unrealistic and not very nice at all. So, and even this owner said that they had to walk because their vet told them they had to walk their dog because the dog had abdominal pain in their stomach. And the only thing that helped this dog for relieving him from going to the toilet and poo was to move, to walk. That's what their veterinarian said. And poor dog, she forced the dog with her. And that was obviously a problem when the dog sat down, because it didn't want to walk. And obviously this dog was in pain as well. So try going for a long, brisk walk if you have a stomach ache. I dare you. Try it. Or even a headache, or a toothache, or, your leg is hurting, your knee is hurting. It's not going to happen. So you have to trust your dog more. We have to trust our dogs. We have to trust them for making good decisions when we're walking in the woods, that they can find the right pathways. Because I was telling Wilma many times that, no, I don't think we can walk there. It just, I don't think it's possible. It's just too many branches. I can't, And she was like, try me, Lisbeth, try me, just follow me. So I did, and she was right. She found it, Trust them when they tell you that this is enough for me today. Thank you. I've been out for 40 minutes, done my sniffing, my toilet, I want to go home. Trust them. And definitely trust them. If they sit down when you're walking and they refuse to walk, there is a reason for it. That is not, it's normal behavior to do that if there is something that isn't right, or they just, that could be that they're tired, they've been walking too long, or of course it could be separation anxiety as well, that they don't want to walk too far away from the house maybe, or something. But there is a reason for it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There is a reason. So don't force your dog to walk with you. Try to find out the reason. Very often it's actually just, typical, I would say. It's especially with young dogs and puppies. They just, it's too much for them. Puppies, young puppies. You should not walk a puppy for walks on leash until they're 3 months old. Of course, they're supposed to move a lot. And I just did a recording about that in the membership platform we have, the care platform. So for those of you who are members, you can go and see my recording, how to exercise puppies. So yeah, and also interestingly, young dogs, like adolescent dogs, they are in need of, in general, less of that kind of physical activity that we give them, like fast physical activity. They're more in need of slow physical activity, like slow, how can you say, like slower ways of doing, being active, and a lot more mental activities. And that's my reference is Amber Batson's course about young dogs, adolescent dogs, a couple of years ago. So actually, some of the issues are also that when we have young dogs and they are restless and they want, something to happen, we mistakenly see it as they need more. We want to tire them out, to make them tired. So we do more. We go for longer walks, maybe start running or even cycling with them, or start all kinds of dog sports, agility, or whatever. So, with a lot of fast movements. And what they need in very, very, very many instances is slower, calmer activities. That's what I want to say. Calmer activities, physical activities, and more mental activities. And, it's about letting them choose. Okay, so of course, to sum up, of course, do not mistakenly believe that Nordic dog training believes that we should not exercise ourselves and our dogs. It's good physical health to be out walking. It's the kind of exercises we do. But if our dogs were living as they do without caretakers, and keep in mind, most dogs on this planet actually don't have a caretaker. Most dogs are wild dogs or street dogs or feral dogs or whatever we call them, you know. Most dogs are living in that kind of environment. So we have a special responsibility when we have them as pets, and that's to provide them with as best physical and mental exercise, as close to what they naturally need as we can give them. Yeah, as we can give them. So what they also need, now this is, I'll talk more about that later during other lives, but it's not only walking on leash. It's actually boring, isn't it? On leash. The best is off leash. The best is being with other dogs, playing, walking together, rolling in the grass, you know, or sand, whatever, you know, just being and being in movement. Slow, sometimes running, you know, their choice. So we have to try and make this possible for them. And I always say it's better to do something once in a while than never. And to be honest, we do have, you know, we chose to take in these dogs, so it's our responsibility too. Okay, so today my homework is not a homework, but I would love you to experience the observation skills that you will get when you let your dog choose the length and where he or she wants to walk, and the length of the walk. And of course, it helps to know the calming and distance increasing signals, like all signals that the dogs, you know, even their vocal language, to know their way of communicating. It's much easier for us to understand what they want then. If you walk fast, have a look at how you walk. Do you walk fast or not? And you don't know slow walking until you've been on level 1 or 2. Because slow walking is slow walking in general, that the stress level of the dog has a huge impact on the behavior. Again, this is something I discussed yesterday. Dogs living in families with smaller children, and there's a lot of things going on, you know, with the children playing, and yeah, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of activities. So they are very often used to walking in a certain pace. It's about what they're used to, and because we are actually teaching, I'm claiming that we are teaching our already young puppies to start trotting instead of walking. Share with us what you have observed when you walk your dog and let your dog choose the length and where to walk. And of course, always let your dog sniff and finish sniffing, however long it takes. Again, just because I'm expecting this question to come up, if there is a female dog in heat and there is a male dog sniffing, you know, and the male dog is a bit too hormonal about this and goes absolutely haywire, that's not, you know, then yeah, it's too much for him. Then you have to walk somewhere else. But under all normal circumstances, let your dog sniff as long as he or she wants and finish sniffing. Okay? Have a lovely short or long or medium length walk wherever you're walking. Bye.